Enigma can just free farm the lane, and Empire not even attempting to get in some early wards to block out the Enigma's jungle, which is kind of scary.
I mean, this is why I just have so much fun talking about matchups in this metagame. It's why I find it so compelling because, you know, it used to be to me when you broke down 5v5 draft matchups, it was all about the lanes. It was all about hero versus hero. And for sure, that's still important. But really, I mean, you're seeing more and more of these kind of economy counters, right? The Enigma, it doesn't necessarily, although sure, he gives you that extra lockdown against the Slark that you sorely needed in this lineup, as you pointed out correctly. But he really is a very strong economy counter to this Empire. Really prepared to go aggressive early on in the laning phase. So I mean, the strategy to me in this metagame has evolved to the point where I think you can talk about counters in many different ways. It doesn't have to be necessarily hero versus hero or lane versus lane, which I don't know, to a strategy geek like me, that makes it a lot of fun to talk about the game right now. So getting a reconnection here from Resolution, again, you know, playing a puck against a Viper, you definitely want to have low ping if you can. So I certainly understand that. Pretty standard item builds I'm seeing coming out from everybody. Mag in particular, very smart. He has a lot of sustain here. He's probably going to pick that poor man's shield up early, make it that much more difficult to force him out of lane. Manus, I have seen some very solid carry Mirana play out from him in the past, so I expect that he's going to do really well down here in this spot lane. And really, Empire have put some pressure on themselves. I mean, they are a very good team, as we talked about during the draft. Very good results lately, so you expect them to do well in these mid-game engagements. But barring some really good rotations, I do expect them to come out of the laning phase in this match with a disadvantage. And Slark is a carry that can snowball in both directions. Let's face it. I mean, we've seen him have these games where he gets off to a good start and just dominates. We've seen him have these games where he gets behind and really has a hard time. So, I mean, Empire, a little bit of a risk here, and I'm going to look for them at the 10-minute mark. They really need to be as close as possible, or they could have some problems if they make errors in mid-game execution.
Talking about this matchup, though, you could see how Lounge right now, and it is so incredibly one-sided. I mean, people look at
what are the odds?
People sometimes look at the value bets, and they sometimes just bet on the underdog team, and it seems like no one's betting on the underdog right here. It's 10% to 90.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I would bet. I mean, look, you gotta look at the edges, right? And over time, okay. Over time in Dota, Alliance, when they were just on fire last year and they were beating everybody, were still only winning about 75% of their games, right? Edges in Dota are just not that big. I'm sorry. And you know, Empire certainly are the favorites in this series. I wish I'd seen that. I'd have put some rares on xGame here at 10% for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd put one or two rares. I feel it's definitely one-sided. I feel like they're definitely the underdogs. But oh man, 10 to 90, that is rough. That's one of the
crazy, man.
The most lopsided bets I have ever seen in Dota 2 Lounge. That's just crazy that nobody just at the potential of rares isn't laying down some.
And speaking of that, you might see a Fisher block here. What a fuck, a lot in huge trouble early on. English is hard.
Resolution's going to be able to finish him off with an orb, and First Blood picked up by Resolution. I like the fact that he was able to get that too, as he desperately needs that kind of extra gold in lane. If you can grab himself a fast little bottle, that'll help out supremely. But this is really the point in the lane that is kind of the toughest, level 1. Right, because you don't have that phase shift to be able to dodge some of those constant orb attacks that are coming in. Now that he's jumped up to level 2, this lane gets a lot easier than it was. Normally that dominance is established by the Viper from the get-go.
Yeah, but you shouldn't die there as Whatafucka. Let's be honest, right? Because, I mean, that's a very obvious level 1 rotation. And I know I said early on that I thought that those two supports would be top protecting the Slark. But if you don't see those two supports in lane as the Brewmaster, you got to be screaming at your mid. I mean, get back, get back. And it's just a very minor position. I mean, I'm not flaming anybody here. That's a very minor positioning mistake by Whatafucka. But those are the kind of mistakes that can really make a difference when you have a team that needs to win the laning phase.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at these offlaners too, like Mag
another Fisher block, beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. That means Brewmaster is going to be falling here. And oh, he actually went. No, The Slark was just like all grayed out for some reason. I guess that was the effect of the slow, but that was just very odd.
Yeah, it's the effect of the slow, and this headpiece he's wearing. I've seen some odd graphical effects with that, and I think it looks a little strange.
I thought for a second
anyway.
he was actually had Drunken Haze on him for something, and I was just like, wait, what? Brewmaster went Drunken Haze as the offlaner? That's just so weird, but. No. 1-0-1 is his build. Pretty standard. Brewmaster's still getting a lot here in this off lane. The creep wave is still going to be pushing in. It's one
Mag
of those,
might be in some trouble. No, he's fine.
They actually managed to pull over to the hard camp. Mag, meanwhile, as looks like he took a disruption arrow to the face. This is the danger of this lane. Fortunately, though, Faceless Void is just tanky enough. And again, these offlaners, man, I can't say I totally agree with it, but I'm beginning to really rethink it as I see more and more go into the no levels of backtrack as an offlane Faceless Void.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't understand. I guess the time lock can be defensive if you get a lucky proc, but I don't get that at all. I'm seeing it. You're right. I'm seeing it over and over again. What do you think the logic is there?
I think the logic is when you're dealing with supports harassing you, the time lock actually being able to have that proc chance makes a big difference for threatening those supports in the harassment battles. But also, I think it's more about, okay, once I do have my Chronosphere, I'm so much more powerful if I do have levels in time lock and not delaying that with some levels in backtrack at all. Even though,
but look at it, right? He's burned through 7 tangos and a salve here in the first 3.5 minutes of the game. I mean, don't you want to have backtrack just to make that regen last a little bit longer?
Well, you can see Mag has now gotten his backtrack at level 4, which is, again, a bit odd. If you're going to be going for that split build at all, I think you would prefer to get the backtrack at level 2. That way, again, that 10% chance works in. You're holding on to more regen, like you were talking about. He's burned through so much against this lane. And, well, Mag is playing this so aggressive. I love it, though, because his positioning is always really good to make sure
is really good.
He's not caught out by arrows. The Mantis is going to be throwing out an arrow long range, but it's not going to be able to catch him. And Mag will be chasing away Reeves in the process. But 9 times out of 10, his positioning has been like right next to the middle of the creeps, or making sure that if they do try and go for a disruption arrow, Mantis is going to have to pull out some sort of leap maneuvers or something to be able to land that arrow, and it's probably going to be too close range to ensure a kill.
No, I'm actually really glad you pointed this out, because you're kind of seeing it. Mag just much more aggressive in just walking up and smacking Reeves, hoping for that proc than you would ordinarily see from a Faceless Void. And I really like what that does to the lane. I mean, you know, the Enigma is probably not going to come and bother you too much in lane at this point. I like that level of aggression he's able to show.
Brewmaster, meanwhile, is going to start being zoned out heavily by the Skywrath Mage, as the Skywrath has actually picked up a lot of experience from the pulls they've been doing. He's now level 4. Mag is going to be catching equal here, but they're going to turn around on him with the Malefice and all of the Eidolons that he has. Mag certainly cannot take that fight. He will be fine, though, as he was able to get himself a rather early set of boots. Equal is level 5 right now, so expect him to be making a black hole rotation sometime soon. And with the soul ring he has, he'll also be able to continue on that opportunity they need to be able to catch out Mag, though he is sitting at level 5 as well. So
yeah, I love the way Mag's playing this. He's just being so aggressive here, and he's screwing around. And look at this, right? Because of this, Resolution might get a kill. This is all. If he gets this kill here, this will be entirely due to Mag's aggression. I love it.
Yep, catches out. Nice little disruption there. Saves him for the time being. Equal still holding on to the side. Resolution will be able to get him in the end. They do get an arrow onto Mag. Starstorm, couple more hits, and they finish him off with the extra proc. That does land.
Very nice.
Just could not get those backtracks in. If just one of those nukes had been backtracked, he would have been fine, as he was just about to time walk away.
Yeah, I think they got the Malefice on him right before the Enigma died, and as a result, he was mid-time walk animation when he died. Still, I really like this aggressive play by Mag. I mean, he's effectively contesting 3 heroes with his 1, and you know, he did eat the death there, but that was after Resolution's puck got a kill on the equal Enigma. So really like this. Might see some action here in the mid lane as Solo and Fly look to be positioning themselves aggressively for this Viper coming back.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, the Viper was able to get himself, well, he actually passed off the bottle to the Brewmaster. Right. He's going to be using the Invis, and the Viper will go back with a full bottle. So looks like they want to try and shut down the Void again here, this time adding in the extra nuking and critting power of the Brewmaster to try and pop him. But it's still going to be tough. You can see Mag sitting very, very far back. I'm not sure if he actually knew that the Brewmaster was down here bottom.
Oh,
Brewmaster rotated fairly early on. But yeah,
and they're going to get the kill in the mid because of this. This is great. I mean, look at the difference here, right? Mag is playing. Mag just with superior map awareness understands something's got to be up with this Brewmaster out of lane at this point, even though the Brewmaster's only level 4, right? You know your opponent's feeling the pressure to make something happen. So Mag's going to stay passive there. And Wadafaka, again, just a little bit too far forward. And it's Empire that gets the kill out of that rotation when xGame picked up the Invis rune. Really like the way they're playing so far in this match. Oh, perfect, Chrono. There you go.
As Skywrath Mage coming in, they're going to finish off Reeves. Arrow actually lands. Disruption will save him for the time being. He's actually going to get off a couple more right clicks. Puck is going to have to commit to finishing off that kill. Equal, though, is very low as well. Malphus hitting on Resolution. Black Hole goes down. It's actually going to catch Resolution. One more hit, but they'll still be able to get the 2 kills thanks to that Black Hole, both the Skywrath Mage as well as the Puck falling. And that actually turns out to be very good for xGame, killing the Puck there, nice. that critical mid hero.
I like the decision there to commit the Black Hole, even though he knew he was probably going to die. But that's a kill that they needed really badly, and it nullifies a lot of what Empire were able to do in the first few minutes of this game. Just having that kill on the mid hero, right? I mean, Puck was already level 8 when he went down there. All of a sudden, Mantis is 2-0 and level 7 on his Mirana. That really turns the lane around for them.
Certainly, and you can see the Slark is really benefiting from all this free farm that he's getting.
This is terrifying. Yeah, I mean, 50 last hits at 8 minutes on a Slark. He's going to have his drum already completed here. That's scary.
Yep. Tier 1 tower will be going down in the bottom lane, though, taking advantage of the Enigma's early pushing power. And he's already got himself up to 1,200 gold. Interested to see whether or not he's actually going to go for the BKB. Yeah, BKB is definitely necessary here as I look at it. Just between the 2 long-range disables, the Puck and the Earthshaker, especially that Earthshaker, BKB's got to be his first item after probably a mech. As, well, actually, maybe. Wadafaka could go for the mech himself, but I think it's more likely he goes for a heavier stat build that allows him to be a bit more of a carrying presence into the mid game.
I don't know. I'm of 2 minds about that. I think in this game, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I'm kind of weighing who gets whether Enigma should rush the blink here. And you're right. They just have too many stuns with too much range for him to reliably be able to hit that spell. But what I want to see, honestly, right now, I want to see Silent get blink.
What a fucker. This guy is not having a fun time in the middle lane. Again, the rotation in from the Earthshaker is able to catch him out. And I don't know if Solo was actually...
And that's with 4 levels in his passive, too, by the way. You look at this Viper's skill build, he's got 4 levels in Corrosive Skin, and he's still getting taken out like this to the early ganks. That's tough.
Yeah. It's the advantage of being able to have this Skywrath Mage Earthshakers. They've got such long-range initiation that the Viper is routinely caught out. Even though he is playing, I mean, he was playing a little bit too aggressive at some
Solo with the mind game. Did you see Solo and the Brewmaster facing off with the mind games there, both canceling their spells? Yeah, I actually really like how Solo's played in the last few weeks. I was really raising my eyebrows when I found out that he was going to be the 4-position player for this team, but I feel like he's played really, really well. He's had games on a 4-position Naga, which I frankly never thought I would see run well. So I think he brings a lot to the table for this team.
Reeves may be looking for a pick-off here in the bottom lane. They just need Mag. Oh, maybe not. Disruption to save Mantis. And that is perfect. That's going to be double ultimates used for nothing there. In fact, they're going to try and turn around and kill Mag, but he's going to be forced to time walk away. Still, though, that disruption. Thought he was going to be setting up for the offensive one, but he backs up at the perfect time there with that teleport. Doesn't get caught in the Chronosphere, and that's a Chronosphere as well as a Skywrath Mage ultimate down, which it really is bad for the Skywrath Mage. When you use one of those ultimates, you have to go back to base. I mean, it just takes up so much of your mana pool. You don't really have any other options, so it's just more downtime for the support hero. Top lane, Silent fading up against our Brewmaster right now, but those extra levels and the passive makes it difficult for the Slark to do enough damage to a tanky hero like Brew.
Yeah, a little bit scary right there that the Brewmaster isn't even forced to, isn't even able to force Slark to pop his ultimate. But yeah, I actually think that what you said was a lot of the reason that Shadow Demon's been making a comeback in the meta lately, that he can so effectively disrupt. Oh my God, shoot me now! He can disrupt those big wombo combos.
Whoa, Arrow gets hit by a long 5-second arrow. What the fuck is going to come in with the Viper Strike and the Malefice as well? We'll be able to finish him off. Mantis with a beauty. Throwing it down into the mid lane and might just be able to ensure this tier 1 tower goes down because of it. As the puck is so much of their initiation right now, especially with the Chronosphere being on cooldown. Don't really think they can fight this one.
Yeah, I'm impressed, man. I tell you, even with these early deaths from Whatafaka, xGame are playing them even in this match, and they're going to take the gold lead off that tier 1 tower kill.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Slark to enter into these fights, though, and that is going to definitely make a big difference. He's almost there. Just needs another 500 gold, and we will have the Blink Dagger up for him, and that will obviously make a pretty big difference because xGame will then be entirely dependent on that black hole. We do have a Blink Dagger pick up for equal, so I considered the Blink Dagger, but I was like, with the Earthshaker, though. I mean, the Dream Call is bad enough, but the Earthshaker, he's just a hero that is always able to stop good black holes. But Enigma feeling confident. Equal's going to try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of two minds about it because I think that if you wait for the BKB, you really do run a risk here. But yeah, there's just so much on the side of Empire that can stop that channel. And Silent here with just about 100 gold left toward his Blink Dagger, and I think you're going to see some fireworks.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have these two teams smashing up against Shadow being used here for the rotation down to the bottom lane. Doesn't catch anybody out. They have both a ward here and a ward in the enemy jungle from the side of Empire. So giving them a lot of vision of what's going on with these rotations and what the Enigma has been up to. Brewmaster, meanwhile, he's picked up a Blink Dagger of his own to go well against the Slark. So we're going to have just rotation on both sides here now. And Silent maybe finishing up his level 2 ultimate, but after that point, I'm thinking you're probably going to be looking for some early team fights. Otherwise, xGame, I mean, you probably wait until xGame try and set up for a push, seeing as there's, obviously, you do have really good late game on Empire between the Faceless Void and the Slark. They look for fights, but the first time xGame try and go for another tower push, I'm sure Empire will try and contest this time around.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, the one thing you would really, really love to see the mech on Whatafaka before they have to fight 5v5, but I don't think that Empire is going to let him have the time to do that.
Let's see, we have some really good warding going down. Empire really prioritizing, and you don't always see this much effort being putting into
it's very smart here.
But
it's very smart here. That area of the map's so critical. I mean, you know, xGame has a team that if they go totally crazy, they could even try to steal Roshan with the Eidolons now. I certainly wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, between the value of that jungle farm and the possible Roshan steal, I actually really agree with them focusing on vision on that part of the map. And then they're going to say, okay, we know what's going on in that part of the map, so we're more confident in being able to push this top tier 1 tower.
Slight little poking on the tower, but xGame, we're rotating to it. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to find an opening for a team fight. Rather, they'll probably just 5-man push in this top lane. You got to make that 5-man rotation worth it somehow, and counter pushing and pushing down the lane is probably the best way for it. It would have been nice if they'd found a pick off there somehow, but unfortunately the Illusion Skywrath Mage was able to see what was going on. Solo will just try and delay the push as much as possible. They've got both the middle lane as well as the bottom lane pushing in. If they can just buy some time here for those two solos to farm up a little bit more before they teleport and take this fight, it'll be all the better for it, especially with the Mask of Madness coming up here for Mag.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
jeez. Brew just gets blown up there, and that's the thing. That's the Fisher and Mystic Flare combination. People talk about the Chrono into Mystic Flare. Don't sleep on Earthshaker.
Yeah, blink away there from Silent, and with that one pickoff, they're actually going to be able to significantly delay because the Empire just sitting in a position where they're like, all right, we can push down these other solo lanes. In fact, Mag, almost a good attempt there by Mantis. He's going to be held in by the Chronosphere. Mag not able to do well, maybe with the Mask of Madness that just now comes in. And refusing to activate it, though. thinking that it's just not worth the attempt here. But yeah, they take down 2 different towers. One of them was denied by the Enigma, but that's still a big win there for Empire, especially with that pickoff, because xGame, they couldn't actually continue to force the fight there in the top lane, or else they would facing a 4 versus 5 with teleports in.
Yeah, losing your Brewmaster right off the bat, that's going to discourage you for sure. And now Empire shows signs of wanting to really force the action. I mean, I really like how they've established control of this bottom right area of the map. This is something that I see so many dire teams fail to do at this point. Silent might be in a little bit of trouble here.
He's going to be running into Wanafaka. They have a disruption ready to go. Silent's using his ultimate here, and it can always blink away, but he's actually being caught. Shadow Poison will disable the Blink Dagger, leap away, pounce, and they do have a little bit extra. Equal, yeah, just lays down the black hole. Worth it to ensure the kill on a Slark, though I think they would have gotten it anyway.
Yeah, I thought he was going to commit that earlier, honestly, but I have no problem. Even though at the very end there that he might have been able to get away without it, I have no problem committing a solo black hole for the Slark kill at this stage of the game. Silent already with 115 CS to lead the board, shows signs of snowballing in this match. That's a really high value kill.
Absolutely. Mag continues to take over the enemy jungle. I can't help but feeling like this match would be so much different, though, if this Viper was able to pick up the faster mech. But with the way that Empire rotated in and shut him down in the middle lane, really delayed that mech up quite significantly. And getting it 17.5 minutes into this match is pretty late.
Yeah, big time. That's something I highlighted a couple of minutes ago. I felt like that top push from xGame a couple of minutes ago would have been totally different if they'd had that mech up. Just the degree of confidence that gives you in your team's survivability. But it was delayed, and so Empire were able to force them off of that. And now, yeah, you got to watch this Slark here.
Up the Chronosphere down on Reese. They're going to finish off that one support. Now Mag just dodging the arrow real quick. He's going to be hit by the clap. The Brewmaster ultimate also going off. They're going to go and try and get the stun. They can finish off Mag real quickly, possibly. The Malphite stun, they will finish him off. Mantis now, nice little cyclone that will be able to throw the Slark up in the air. Immediately blinks his way to the side. Meanwhile, they did get the kill on the Viper.
Oh, the arrow!
Oh, beautiful. Long-range arrow. Silent somehow not being able to dodge that one. Starstorm, and they should have enough to blow up Silent as they quickly surround him as well. One of the best things you can do against the Slark in that scenario is just wrap around him and make sure he doesn't have that pounce away. So very nicely played by a xGame. They actually walk away with the favorable trade-off there. They may have lost the Viper in the mid lane, but they got 2 of the highest priority kills, the Slark as well as the Faceless Void. Resolution coming in from the jungle here. Is going to be going for equal, lays down the ultimate, and is it going to be worth it, though? He's going to feed away his life. Mantis,
are crazy.
Yeah, he's locking him on. He has been the sharpshooter of this game. Skywrath Mage also being almost caught there, as he does lay down an early ward, and that ward is actually going to be spotted out there. Reeves, unfortunately, placing a very defensive jungle ward to make sure they see these kind of rotations in, but that's going to be countered right away.
Yeah, but that's what they need to do, right? I mean, they need to try and reestablish control of this bottom right quadrant of the map. There's just so much in terms of objectives, high-value objectives at this point in the game that's down there. I really like that xGame is placing a lot of value on that area of the map. Now, we might see a kill on Mantis here. No, they're not going to go for it. That's fine. Boy, Mantis, I tell you, I told you at the beginning of the match that I'd seen some good Mirana play from him in the past. This might be the best yet, and he's already got his drums Maelstrom done as we hit the 20-minute mark into this game. Mirana, when she gets these pair of items by 20 minutes, is very, very hard to beat in Pro Dota 2.
We have a BKB coming up soon for the Enigma, and with the Maelstrom up on our Mirana, we do have some significant upgrades. So going to be able to pick up itself a point booster from the secret shop. But I'm looking at this, I'm getting a bit concerned that xGame haven't been able to take more towers. I can see what they're going for here. They're going for, like, you get that one wave of items where you expect them to kind of push with the Blink Dagger and the mech, but they're waiting for that second wave of items, it looks like. Initiation in the middle lane, blowing up the Brewmaster and the Shadow Demon in one fell swoop. Reeds will actually survive a little bit longer. They should still be able to finish him off here, as just a nuke will be able to finish him off. Mech actually comes in, Reeds somehow still alive here. Solo comes in with the Echo Slam, be able to finish him off. The Slark comes in from the side, Black Hole going up with just 1 HP. Holy cow, he's going to get this all. It's still going to be not enough damage. Silent actually gets hit by the arrow here. They might be able to finish him off. Mantis trying to find him out there with the Starstorm, leap away. Silent has enough time. Chronosphere locking down Wanafaka with an orb on 2. Resolution has the silence up as well. On to Mantis, not going to be able to hit Whatafucka though. They turn onto the puck. Silent comes back in for this fight and will be able to finish off the last member of xGame there, which is going to be Whatafucka. Clean him up. Mag will actually get that last hit and get it to the BKB, which will do in these team fights. So unfortunate. We're not able to get their heroes there into the middle lane faster for that black hole.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that was just a tremendous black hole coming out there by equal. Mantis's Barana from him throughout this game, just dealing a ton of damage. I really felt the impact of the Brewmaster. My reaction to your point about the is that I think xGame, until that last fight, they had gotten a couple straight kills on Silent Slark, and I think they felt, we're containing the Slark. We don't have to go right now. We can afford to wait until our Enigma has that Blink Dagger completed, which he's going to have here another 600-700 gold. That fight, though, I think escalates the clock for them quite a bit. You need to force something here. And yeah, the BKB's coming out on the Slark. You're starting to see those big items complete on Empire. You're going to have a BKB here and another 500 gold or so for the Faceless Void. Yeah, xGame right now, going to be timed right as the Slark.
Yeah, impossible to kill. I mean, with the BKB pickup, it's already like, okay, this is significant now. But when you have an Aegis to be able to back it up as well, I see Empire. It doesn't look like they're going to save this tier 1 tower, so they just let it fall. At least one good team fight here, and I don't think xGame chance of being able to win it, unless it's like this amazing from the Enigma. I don't see how they're going to be able to put it.
Well, I really, what they need, they need to be on point if they're going to have a chance in these fights. And oh, good. That's a huge kill there by Whatafucka. He needs that to come back into this match.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, it's going to be at the cost of their tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, where Empire were able to finish that one off. And looking at this in Empire, they are getting so big on their 2 cores so quickly. Like the BKB now up for Mag, as well as the Slark. You just black hole, which equal maybe going down here. Chronosphere in, and Mag just gonna right click him to be able to save him.
I think that Resolution looks to be completing a very fast side device on his puck too.
Whatafucka's gonna be in some trouble as well. He gets blown up by the Silent plus Always Want to Fly combination. Just too much nuking damage, even for a Viper.
Great contest here so far from xGame. I thought that they've made some very good plays in this match, but this is starting to feel like the beginning of the end for them, because Resolution's about to complete his Scythe of Vice on the puck, and I don't think they have an answer for this item, along with the two BKBs on the Void and the Slark.
Yeah, and if Silent is able to start going into like Scotty here, he was already impossible to kill with the BKB. And then that Aegis pickup as well. But once he has the Scotty, like, they simply just do not have enough damage to be able to kill him. I mean, their only hope at that point is just Midnight Pulse. It's just plain and simple. Midnight Pulse Black Hole, and that's where so much of your damage is going to be coming in from at that point.
I mean, with the Blink BKB on the Enigma, I mean, they have a chance to win these fights. It's just, you know, if Whatafucka had another 1,300 gold and had his Ags now, their chance would be that much better. And again, I don't like to call it individual players, but to me, there's a lot on the Brew. He needs to contribute something to these fights. And Reeves, oh, very unfortunate.
Reeves is definitely dead. Arrow comes out, will hit solo. Mantis just got to get the hell out of dodge here. And Mag is also just going to leap himself away from the Viper. But Empire now settling up on a tier 2 tower here in the middle lane. And there shouldn't really be anything to stop them. They don't necessarily have the greatest pushing power, but they do have the superior team fight in my mind right now.
I mean, that's kind of the thing, that you don't necessarily have to have team push when you can set up shop outside the enemy's base. And I don't know that xGame has much that's going to make them go away right here. They have to be so careful, even with the team fight abilities on their side, initiating into that Earthshaker and Faceless Void when you've got that burst damage from the Skywrath, the AoE control from the puck. That's pretty scary.
Smoke Gank, xGame. Gonna try and look for a pick-off here. And with 3 heroes sitting right here, waiting for somebody to show up in the middle lane, there's some rotation in. Brewmaster's even going to commit the ultimate here just to finish off Always Want to Fly. Equal gets a little bit low from that Skywrath Mage ultimate. They needed a lot more out of that one. And they're going to get sandwiched here. Mag is going to come in from behind, pops his BKB, and looking for the Chronosphere. Is it going to be thrown down? yet. Farther up, we have Silent going on Reese. They blow up that one support. Now Mag still holding on to the Chronosphere for the time being, as it's not really necessary for them to win this fight. Silent comes in, locks down Whatafaka, Fisher block for the time being. Clap goes down, Equal with the black hole, actually going to be able to catch out 3 here. Beautiful, Solo comes in, Echo Slam after the fact is going to be able to almost finish off Whatafaka. The Silent will do it. Mag getting low, is trying to jump himself away, actually will die to the Malefice there. Mantis now has to leap himself away from Silent, Solo looking for that Fisher. But isn't going to be able to catch him out. Now the blink forward, they will finish out Mantis, and that just leaves Stelcat. The Brewmaster looking for a way out of it, looking for a clap, unable to get it. And team could try and trade himself for the Earthshaker, but it's not really worth it. Instead, running back to the base here, gets hit by the Fisher. Resolution has to walk around that Fisher block once again. And Reeves, whoa, going out a little bit too deep there. Is going to be caught by the Skywrath Mage ultimate that's being dropped, and Resolution will just throw out an orb to eliminate him. Even jumping now to Stalcat is underneath the tier 3 tower. He doesn't even care. With that sight, the Vice gives him just enough power to be able to finish him off for a mega kill streak on the puck now, as this is just snowballing so hard. Always want to fly. Apparently was really ambitious and was like, hey guys, hope y'all be a part of the kill too.
I can do it, guys. I'm here. No,
it's like always the first one to die in the team fights.
Resolution. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Calling out your teammate there. Now, I mean, Puck at this point in the game with Blink Sight before 30 minutes just becomes like a YOLO hero. I mean, I love to see it. That was so unfortunate because that was a beautiful black hole by Equal, and he's going to threaten the puck here, but just not quite enough for xGame to carry the fight.
Yeah, now he's going to be caught out. The Sight, the Vice plus the Dream Call. Arrow onto Silent will actually keep Equal alive for the time being. They don't have a black hole to be able to stop Silent from going on Equal, and it looks like he may still die. The Pounce will finish him off, and Silent, now popping the BKB, is kind of in a little bit of trouble here, as he no longer has the Aegis, but up. And now delayed up by the disruption. Arrow's going to come up in a second here. They'll hit Silent. They could actually finish him up here with the clap. Reeves just living with a sliver of health there as Resolution unable to finish off that support hero. And I suppose they do kill the Slark in exchange for the Enigma. Silent getting a bit too greedy.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the thing is Empire right now. That's a play you can afford to make. You've got xGame forced so far onto their side of the map. Now, I mean, you don't want to make those trades often because you don't have a Rax quite yet. I mean, this game is not tucked away. You can afford to do. Wanted to actually, you made a point earlier, which I thought was really good. This was a tip that that Blaze and Helium both gave to me, that the importance of blinking in front of that Slark to stop him stop him using the Pounce as an escape mechanism. That's a really important thing to do, and it's something I don't see a lot of players use that. Resolution going here on Whatafaka. This is trouble.
Well, they might actually be able to save him. Whatafaka's just tanky enough. He will be saved by the up. Purge onto Solo. He's actually going to be held in the Midnight Pulse, and they'll at least get that one support.
Nice
Resolution should be okay to be able to get out. I was going to say a bit like Deja Vu. They also got the gem out of that as well. Solo was holding on to that, so that's definitely a big pickup, but that's just Empire being a bit greedy. After all the constant kills on the Viper, they go for one with just 2 heroes like that. Viper is eventually going to get tanky enough. He can survive through that. Going to run into Mag and instantly Chronosphered. Arrow's going to come out and will hit Mag, but he already popped the BKB. So that Equal, really? Oh my goodness, he almost looked like he really wanted to get a black hole there. Mag kind of turned around like he wants to force a fight as well, but doubt they should really be going for it. They've already got enough control of the map. As long as they don't throw away anything significant to xGame, this game is pretty well theirs. I mean, all they have to do is just secure the next Roshan and then go for an uphill push, and I don't think this game are going to be able to contest that.
Okay, so just a minor thing that I'll throw out there to people in chat and on the Twitterverse. If anybody knows, I would like there to be a way to like turn transparency of the Chronosphere up just a little bit. I have a real problem when I play seeing abilities like BKBs and arrows and stuff that are launched in the Chrono. I wish that ability, I wish that Chronosphere didn't make it so hard to see stuff, but maybe I'm just old.
Yeah, you know that BKB call? That wasn't me actually seeing BKB. That was me going, he's not stunned. He must have used a BKB.
Yeah, I mean, deductive logic there. I did the same thing. I was like, huh, oh, okay.
Mag. Ran into an invisible unit. Doesn't realize what's about to happen to him, which is not safe for work.
That's angry. That's xGame saying we are tired of being Chronosphere. We know that the caster is complaining about it, so we're just going to kill the Void.
Yep, so they committed Black Hole and a Moonlight Shadow for it, but obviously well worth it, unfortunately. It's still just one of the big scary carries here for the side of Empire. They still have the Slark up, who has finished up his Scotty. Puck is even becoming more and more a threat. I'm expecting like the Puck to kind of drop off, but when you continue to have this kind of high net worth lead on the enemy team, Puck really doesn't drop off at all. I mean, he's hitting actually very, very hard thanks to his Sight device as well as a Shiva's now. 171 damage a hit, and with that kind of mobility and disables that this Puck is able to throw in, he actually becomes a really decent semi-carry. But that's only if you can stay at a good net worth lead like this.
That's exactly right. I was just thinking about that because I think that's part of why Puck, in addition to some of the laning matchups being unfavorable with the Viper and the DK, that's part of why Puck made the shift from a mid laner to an off laner, that he's generally perceived as kind of not scaling that well with farm. But the performances that I've seen on this hero lately, like Dendi had this game the other day where he had a 17-minute Sight the Vise after Blink. That was the first time before 20 minutes ever. If you are able to sustain that rate of farm on this hero, yeah, he does become a semi-carry for sure. And Mantis, there you go. You're going to get another pick-off kill on Mantis here.
Yep, Fisher goes down and easily able to finish him off. So he's down for 60 seconds. No buyback as well. And they should be able to push this in. They've got the Aegis again, just simply going uphill. Without the Mirana, who is so much of their damage right now, how are they possibly? They don't even have the Black Hole for another 80 seconds, actually. So they pretty much have to give up this tower. I don't think they can actually fight this at all without the Black Hole or the Mirana.
Yeah, I mean, they can play for a bit of a delay here, but yeah, I think they're going to lose at least the tier 3, and boy.
What a fuck is going to be jumped on here. Fisher, still not enough damage, though. Still got the max to be able to force it away. And Empire, well, they probably just could have committed to whacking the tower, but I think they're playing around the Black Hole right now, which is still not
I don't think they need
it's
to,
a bit surprising, yeah.
I agree. That's the thing. Without Mirana's damage, I don't think you need to play around the Black Hole. And that they've now xGame has delayed them long enough for Mantis to be back up. So Empire are thinking about whether they want to stick around here.
Well, apparently they don't feel comfortable with this as the Mirana is coming back up. I mean, to some extent, it does. Even though we both feel like they could easily crush the fight, it always does make sense when you have this kind of late game lineup to wait for a bit better advantage and go into the late game with a few more items that they can pick up. I mean, Faceless Void certainly has a ton of growth left in him. Slark, usually his late game presence is secured by a Slark, but he can always go for a little bit more. Jump out. They're going to go for Mag here with the slow leading, but nothing else really coming out of the team.
Yeah.
Stallcat. And nothing. They're not going to find anything out of this. In fact, if anything, Mag can turn around and Chronosphere them, so xGame got to back up.
Yeah, and I think that, oh, there you go. Initiation on the Mantis, and this will be the game if they can get him down here.
Yeah, Black Hole's going to be able to catch out too for the time being, but unfortunately, What a Fuck is still stuck by that Fisher, and they're not even enough damage to finish off Solo. Equal going in for that last hit, will be able to grab him. Chronosphere on just the one will finish off Reeves, goes back to What a Fuck, and now Brewmaster did get off his ultimate in time, and is going to be turning this around onto the side of Empire, but he just can't do enough damage. He's literally doing nothing to this enemy team. Silence sitting there, fighting up against this Fire Panda. He simply just does not care about the Brewmaster ultimate. It seems like now Stallcat blinking himself away just in time. Resolution looking for him still. Equal has him Alphas. They could actually kill Resolution here potentially. Shivas goes down with the Sight device, catching them out with the Silence as well. Comes in and grabs the Enigma. Buyback from the Enigma, but that is the only buyback left for the side of xGame. Him and the Shatter Demon trying to defend their tier 3 tower together, and it looks like that's enough to force Empire back, or at least one of them, as we have the Faceless Void going away. Reed's going to be caught as he tries to jump outside of the base, and will pay for it. And Silent still has that Aegis ready to go. He's going to jump on Equal now. Mantis coming up in a second here, but both his supports are already dead, and the arrow unable to find a target there. And Empire, I mean, only up against Mantis again, just hit the tier 3. That's all that's left to win this game. Yeah. Equal will call it GG, as they've just lost too many heroes. It's too late into the game for them to make a comeback.
Right. I mean, I think the game was effectively over with that last pickoff on Mantis there, but really magnificent performances coming out from Manta and Equal. Just not enough to save xGame here, and we will see what they come up with for Game 2.
Welcome back to xGame versus Team Empire in the ESL One New York European Qualifier. We're in the lower bracket. Currently, Team Empire is sitting 1-up against xGame. We're going to get ourselves into game number 2. We have a slightly different draft this time around. We're going to have a Doom for xGame. We'll see if that actually proves to be any better. As caster Nahaz, do you know if the Doom? I know we were mentioning last night where we had what team was it that had like a 6-0 record on Doom? Do you know if xGame has a really good record on Doom?
That was Sneaky Nick's Assassins, and no, I don't believe xGame's record is quite that good. I mean, the Doom and Shadow Shaman, obviously a combination play. Rost has fallen off a bit though on the Dire side. He's down to about 46% on Dire in 6.81B, and I still really like him in combination with certain other heroes like the Rasta and Death Prophet combination. I think is just ridiculous. I mean, run down lane, press R, win game. But the Doom combination is a little bit. The Doom still is really good. The big problem that I see for xGame is that they gave up to Team Empire, and I mean, you don't give Mag this hero. He's ridiculous. They are 12-3. Batrider, Mag, along with Funnick, just playing this hero at an extraordinarily high level, and he really is just so powerful with those Radiant push timings. Radiant necessarily usually wants to push between 20 and 40 minutes, and that's exactly when Batrider can really get those single pickoffs, just disrupt the responses to those pushes, and he's very good if you can get that timing down with him on the Radiant side.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mag Batrider, man. I've seen this guy too many times play Batrider and just destroy enemy teams over and over again. So that is big concerning for me. That being said, I do like the combination of the Doom and Shadow Shaman as your 1-2. I feel like it gives you a lot of sustain, a lot of big tanky hero mixed in with the pushing power. If they just double down on all outright push, I think they've got a pretty good shot, because if the Doom is able to get up like a really quick mech into a Blink Dagger that will shut down the Razor and still give them a lot of team fight, I think they could probably just 5-ban into Team Empire. And they don't really have the best team fight heroes just yet. I mean, with Batrider being a little bit more pick-off oriented, he can do a lot in team fights, but it's situational. The Razor, again, is their best team fight hero for now, but is shut down by the Doom. And then now a Rubik is going to be picked up by Team Empire. He's got a lot of high-priority ultimates to be able to, a little bit difficult to snag.
Yeah, I mean, not too much in the way of team fight really coming out from either side right now, and I do like the Wraith King. The Vengeful Spirit on the Dire. Of course, Vengeful Spirit, those minus armor capabilities, so effective in the Roshan pit a little early on. The Rubik here is interesting. We've seen him kind of come and go in the metagame. He's been back recently, of course, and certainly anytime you've got a Rubik, that Doom just has to be that much more careful dropping his ultimate. So it's a pretty good response here. But I really do think that in their last couple of picks, Team Empire will need something of a team fight presence, more so than they have now. Otherwise, they run the risk of just sort of being stalled out by xGame on the Dire side, and generally as the Radiant side in this metagame, if you don't take control by 40 minutes in, that's when that Roche Pit advantage really starts to kick in.
As our third pick here for xGame, now the Wraith King as being another core, another big tanky aggressive hero. I'm down with it. The Wraith King, I think, works fairly well. I'm a bit concerned that they're running so many melee cores up against the Razor. But again, if they get the fast Blink Dagger and they just prioritizing shutting down the Razor, then I think they're still okay here. But it does leave me a bit concerned that they're picking up so many melees into a Razor who is so good against all these heroes.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's better than you think with the Blink Dagger Blade Mail build on the Wraith King, especially if you can get those two up early. And now, okay, so we were worried about Team Empire getting stalled out, and they picked the hero that does not worry at all, because generally if Tinker can have any kind of game whatsoever, he gets to the 40-minute mark, and he is zap, pew, pewing people down. So good pick by Team Empire here. xGame really have to think twice. If their plan was to stall up Empire and try and win in the late game, between the Razor, as you said, with his level of control over those melee cores and the Tinker, they may have to think again. And I like the puck response in terms of this is a hero that can get around, can chase that Tinker into the trees, can try and lock him down. But again, all going to come back to the laning phase here and whether or not xGame can try to get some kind of lead against Snowball with Resolution playing him.
A little bit surprised. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, I'm surprised xGame didn't go for the Storm Spirit, but that was actually banned away by Team Empire. Yes. So they take the next best mobile hero that is able to shut down the Tinker, which is the Puck. Still very aggressive hero, and the Puck actually may be situationally better than the Storm Spirit, just because of the kind of team fight that xGame have. The solid lockdown of the Dream Coil can provide the Doom and Wraith King a lot of room to work in these team fights.
Yeah, now one thing I would wonder, if it were another team, I think Empire is a team that tends to be fairly set in their roles, so you probably will see Resolution sent mid on the Tinker. If it were any other team, I would wonder whether or not you just go ahead and throw the Razor into the mid against the Puck, because he will own that matchup. But I think, and give Tinker the safe lane farm, but I think Empire, again, talked about in the last match, they're very, very confident in Resolution as their mid player, regardless of the lane matchup, and I think that's justified. And by the way, this is a hero. Always Want to Fly's Ancient Apparition is extremely legit. He has been playing this hero consistently as it's come in and out of the meta. It doesn't really matter. He's been picking it consistently, and he is very, very, very good with the Ice Bless.
And it does give them just a little bit of extra zoning power. I'm concerned they won't have enough. The Rubik Ancient Apparition is a support combination that I am always a little bit hesitant to see, because I'm not quite so sure. I mean, it can be really strong at level 1 and 2, but it drops off a little bit until you have your ultimates. They're both heroes that are pretty dependent on being able to get to level 6. Now, I don't foresee xGame being able to run some sort of aggro try and shutting them down, but at the same time, if they don't actually get a good enough time in their support lane to be able to get those fast level 6s here, they may not be able to deal with the seemingly overwhelming amount of team fight here from xGame. As their other heroes, Tinker and even the Batrider to some extent, those two solos don't really give you that much team fight opportunity when it comes to 5-man pushes before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, but it reminds me a little bit of the 5th pick Slark in the last, more defensive, sort of less effective as a roamer AA is the 5th pick here, because xGame don't really have the lineup where they're going to be doing things like running an aggro try or like barreling down your lanes at 8 to 12 minutes. So you do have time here as Empire, which is certainly important for a Tinker, and I also think it sort of justifies picking a support that maybe reaches his strongest point a little bit later than some of the other popular supports in the current meta.
Yeah. Personally, I would have loved to see a bit more. Like, I understand. I just bit my tongue. I understand that idea, and it does make a lot of sense. My idea was actually looking at this and going, okay, Razor versus Doom, hell yes. Let's get a nice little roaming combo that can move around the map, and we'll just lead the Razor 1v1 up against the Doom after he gets a slight little experience lead, and we can just aggressively push into that middle lane and try and put some pressure on the Puck and make sure our Tinker is okay in the middle lane. But this is just a different style of play, and Empire are going to be relying more on their levels and mid-game rather than trying to provide early laning presence.
I mean, that's kind of the thing, that both teams are on the clock in some way in this match, but I feel like xGame more so. And an early kill on the Tinker here with 2 supports smoked up mid would be huge for xGame.
Yeah, they have 2 that are pretty range dependent, but it looks like they'll still catch out Resolution. Magic Missile will just barely grab it. Now the follow-up shackle will be dying here, and that's going to be your first blood picked up by Reeves. So a little weird. Yeah, I would have loved to see it picked up by Whatafaka.
Canceled his attack. Yeah, it looked like he could have had that first blood, but either way, it's just so important to support the Puck early on in this lane. I mean, he can win this lane against the Tinker, but that kind of a start is just so helpful to him in controlling one of the most annoying heroes to play against right now.
And now the wraparound behind this offlaner. The combined stuns that they have between Mantis, who's going to be leading with his first stun on Mag.
He hit level 2, though.
Reeves is going to be able to follow up with the Shackles, and still, though, that Sticky Napalm doing way too much to Mantis. Yeah. And he's just going to turn around and fight the rest of these guys. They've got another Wraithfire stun. They could actually potentially kill Mag with Equal coming in. Magic Missile stun is enough, and they'll both barely walk away. Reeves especially getting super low there, but xGame off to a very, very good start. With Resolution's going to be dove here in the middle lane and trying to dodge it. Oh, what a beautiful play from Whatafaka. That was so perfect, because once the laser goes out, Whatafaka is dead. He won't be able to kill the Tinker. But the way he played that, got off one auto attack, phase shift in order to make sure the laser didn't actually finish its animation, and then got off the secondary attack because the animation of the laser was too long. He played that damn perfectly. in order
and
to
that's
get
what you can do against a puck. Just anticipation is so crucial, and Tinker's spells do have a rather obvious animation, especially that laser. So very well played by him. So critical for him to get off to this kind of a start.
Regen going to be picked up by the Ancient Apparition. Meanwhile, the Doom has actually just gone into the jungle. A bit surprised he's not going to be staying there a bit longer. I mean, once he picks up, I think level 2 Scorched Earth is kind of all you need up. Once you have that kind of extra regen, I think you're good. But the armor creep is certainly the best thing you can get in this scenario. Sometimes you would prefer the regen creep, but I would say armor versus the Razor with the static link is probably the best thing for you in lane. So as long as he picks up level 3, what a fucka. Getting super low there in that mid matchup, is now going to have to wait for the courier before he can go back to lane.
Yeah, I really don't like seeing them allowed free farm down bottom here, because this trio between Silent free farming the lane, Solo and Fly stacking and doing the jungle camps, they're going to level and accumulate farm very, very quickly. I mean, you've done your job in terms of controlling the Tinker here in the early game, but anytime you allow 3 heroes free reign in the Radiant jungle, that can be a recipe for problems.
Yeah, Mag's also, despite his death, he's getting a lot here in this off lane as well, just that creep wave actually jumps him up to 4 CS, but he's level 4 as well. So at least experience-wise, he's doing a pretty good job. Resolution once again being pushed out by Whatafaka, who did not land the orb attack there. I do like the fact that Whatafaka is prioritizing the silence a little bit more than you sometimes would.
Yes.
That's pretty critical versus a Tinker. That extra 1.5 seconds of silence can be the only reason you actually get many kills against the Tinker, solely because the laser is what mitigates a lot of your damage.
Yeah, and you can see the importance of getting the puck off to that good early start. You can see that now he's more than holding his own. In fact, you know, maybe not CS wise, but in terms of zoning, pretty much getting the better of this mid matchup.
Yeah, and then once he picks up level 6, he'll have a lot more opportunities to pull something out here, as he's about to pick that up, and against a Tinker who is just now ticking into level 5, that's tough. And with an Invis rune from Reeves, this makes it even tougher. They do have some vision up. Oh. So they did see that happening, though.
Wow, but Silent, meanwhile, down here, going to have a sub 6-minute Midas up on this Razor. You know, ordinarily, again, not a big fan of Hand of Midas on heroes other than Invoker, Nature's Prophet, maybe Doom. But when you can get one at this timing as a safe lane carry, yikes, that's going to spell trouble. This is a hero that, even though you usually see him go mid-game focus builds with that mech into Aghanims, this is a hero that does scale well, particularly against the lineup of xGame. So containing him is going to be a problem.
I love these support rotations. That was so smart. So the smoke, they knew there was an invis. Resolution knew there was by about this time, and he's not really expecting a 2-man support rotation like this. He was kind of just expecting the Shadow Shaman. Now they're still playing very, very passive, but the problem is, oh, they actually could go for a courier kill here. It's going to take a lot of extra right clicks, one more, and they do get it, and that is the Hand of Midas.
Midas recipe. Yep. Oh my goodness gracious.
That is huge. Now they're going to move farther down. Mag is actually going to be caught by the shackles here with Whatafaka having his Dream Coil. This is very easily a kill for them, as Mag is going to be stunned up and taken down. The rotation around from Solo, again, a support who cannot do anything by himself, but that was a big play there from xGame.
I mean, I don't think you could ask for a more impactful early game support rotation between the Midas recipe and the kill. Wow, I mean, it is impossible to state. It's hard to think of an event that could happen in the game before the 6-minute mark that would have improved xGame's as much as that.
For sure. I mean, that Midas being delayed by a full 3 minutes for Silent is, I mean, he got that Midas so early on into the game too, and is now not going to be getting that snowball effect.
Yeah, I mean, we expressed our concern over him free farming bot. That's all undone now. Mag, gotta be a little bit careful here.
They don't actually get any of the last hits. Well, actually, the Centaur they'll get, but they did soak up half of the experience of those stacks. So, Batrider's because of that, but he got a decent amount of gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Mag, you're not used to seeing him at 7 minutes in being only level 4 and still only 400 gold toward his Blink Dagger. So that kind of a contest I do think is worth it, but you have to be careful, right? Not to give space to the Tinker in the meantime.
Mantis, wonder if he's going to be going for, he isn't picking up a really fast hand of Midas, so I'm expecting, kind of almost wanted to see a hand of Midas. He's one of the few carries that I like to see it when you're free farming.
I mean, when you're free farming, I think is the key word there. I still think that Dagger into Blade Mail build, he's one of the unusual heroes that I think you can go the exact same build regardless of whether you're in the 1 position or the 4 position. But yeah, I think in this game are going for the Midas, especially now that Silence Midas is delayed. You could have justified it. But again, I don't hate the Blink Dagger Blade Mail rush at all, regardless of what position this hero's in.
Yeah, especially against a Tinker. It's probably more important to make sure that down rather than you make it into like as a very strong mid-game carry. It's better to at this point trade your farm for the Tinker's farm, and if that actually makes some sense.
Okay, and there's the Midas coming up on Doom. So yeah, I mean they probably talked about it and decided, okay, do we really want to run 2 Midases against a Tinker and a Razor that they thought they were going to have one really early on? And I think this makes a little bit more sense. We've decided we're going to put the Midas on the Doom rather than the Wraith King.
Yeah, having double Midas might have been a bit too much. So,
especially with a Tinker on the opposite side.
Yeah, and Doom is such a natural Midas buyer anyway, so better for him to pick it up anyway. He's probably going to be working towards a Blink Dagger as well, as I'm expecting that to be the build. Always Want to Fly is going to be dove here, thanks to the fact that Wadafaka has those illusion runes to be able to tank up the tower and will be able to successfully get that kill. Cost him all his mana, but well worth it, as he not only gets the Ancient Apparition, keeps him from being able to pick up level 6, but also finishes up his Blink Dagger with that kill. And hey, look, a 9-minute Midas for Silent. I mean, Silent, why are you so bad at farming?
What a dramatic turnaround, right? I mean, it looked like he was going to have that thing before 6 minutes, and now he gets his Midas at the same time that this mid puck, Wadafaka, gets his Blink Dagger. It just
or the offlane Doom gets his Midas.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The Doom had his Midas finished first. I mean, that courier kill, goodness gracious. This match. And X came very, very firmly in this game with a 2.5K gold lead coming up to the 10-minute mark here.
Yep, and they even have, I love this, Reeves is being able to farm up the bottom lane due to the supports spending so much time farming, and even the Ancient Apparition sitting in the middle lane trying to pick up some experience here and there. They really didn't seem to get enough out of that Radiant jungle, which is surprising to me.
Agreed, but a lot of it was just the delay on that Midas pickup and forcing the supports of Empire to respond to xGame being so active, right? I mean, they still kind of feel like they have to think about protecting the Tinker. Here, another support rotation.
Yep, they're looking for it. They do have the Shadow Shaman ward, so if they come across a carry even, they could kill it. They see another courier, but this one they won't be able to kill. Instead, going to run into Solo, and they'll have to drop the wards, but it's a free little kill that they'll get out of it. Now, they may still be circling around on. They're going to run into the Ancient Apparition, and they do have the magical missile stun here. Always Want to Fly has to be careful against this 1v1 matchup. Meanwhile, a Silent is diving in up against Reeves into the wards. The shot goes down. The ward's not able to quite finish up Silent, but it was very, very close.
Wards, dude.
Oh, man. Silent. I can't believe he got that close to the wards, but Creep Wave will still be cleaned up, and they're actually wrapping around, as the Ancient Apparition was able to get away from Equal one time, but the second time around, not quite so much. Just a teleport back from Razor. As now they can actually push in this tier 1 tower, though. With the double damage on Puck, they can get in some decent damage on it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push both lanes at once here. It looks like they're going to be able to get some level of pressure on the top lane as well, but a TP back in down bottom.
And Tinker does have his boots of travel. At 10 minutes in, I think, is when he picked it up. So not bad timing, and this is usually on track for a Blink Dagger that's picked up at about 16 minutes in. So they are still going to have to worry about that top lane. Looks like they're just going to Doom up Solo. Supports continuing to be shut down. Still need to worry about the Tinker, but xGame certainly are controlling this game very well, even taking away some stacks as Wadafaka, another ultimate being committed to shut down these supports. Now he's going to have to jump himself down. He's going to be caught out by the, oh no, Wadafaka's done. This March of the Machines, maybe with the last bit of phase shift, and an orb away.
Get out of there.
Oh god, he's going to run so far here. Jump to the orb, Blink Dagger away. No, gets caught by the missile there, as I think something just stopped his Blink Dagger. Ended up getting him caught by that missile, but he was so close to being able to get out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. That just kind of bad luck that at the end of the day the kill goes to the Tinker, and it's kind of what I was talking about with Resolution. Just Empire feel confident in otherwise unfavorable matchups. They little bit in this game. A couple of kills early on he was having with that puck mid. He's got his boots of travel and soul at the 10-minute mark, and he's especially considering the timing of the start.
Resolution.
He's going for the guess.
Definitely not. xGame get a kill there, even if it's still Empire can entire game around with just the Tinker, but they are shutting down everyone else of Empire, the supports especially. Again, like, what the fuck is merciless, man? This guy just keeps on using Dream Coils on Ancient Apparition. Is Always One Fly ever going to get his Ice Blast at this rate?
That's kind of the thing. I mean, we're still at the point in the game where if you shut down Empire's supports, you're probably going to win in a. Eventually, you will need to address their cores. But, you know, this is what we were talking about from very early on. AA, when he's getting his Ice Blast, once he gets his Ice Blast up, could have a huge impact on the game at this point, but he's still level 4. I don't mind them picking on him at all.
Maelstrom, as well as a Midas, was built by the Wraith King.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, delayed a little bit with the treads. But that does give him a little bit of extra laning presence against the Bat Rider. Normally, I'm looking at it and I'm like, if I go for a Midas, I want to go for it as fast as possible. If you're free farming like that, but I guess the treads may have been necessary against the Bat Rider. He's one of the more dangerous off-laners that you don't want to be underestimating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind playing safe a little bit.
Quick
here,
little blink away there from
interesting.
Whatafaka. Nice out. And what do you think Puck's going to be going for here with this? Do you think this is actually going to be a Dagon?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I say that, and it's probably going to be. Expect a Yules here.
I mean, he does have an ult talisman from earlier. This quickly, he's doing so damn well. And just think about these poor supports, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Whatafaka has already been like on the hunt for supports. It makes it that much easier.
I actually feel like he could cause more chaos with a Yules just getting in and out on people than he could with a Dagon. But I wouldn't mind a Dagon on him in this match.
Silent running in, trying to find anybody he can latch onto, but won't be able to just yet. xGame is going to be joining in. Equal, it's going to be coming up the cliff. And if only they could swap out the Wraith King. Doesn't look going to come in. They're going to get Mag here. The swap goes down. He will save his own life with that one. Mantis, meanwhile, is getting a little bit low. Wants to be able to pop this reincarnation just to be able to slow down these heroes. Whatafaka, though, trying to get away from the Razor. Will have a blink up in a second. Needs to use it. Won't be able to use it. Ice Storm will put a stop to that one. Silent, though, as he does get hexed up. Mantis trying to keep up with him, but this March of the Machines is proven to be too much harassment. And xGame will have to back themselves up. Silent with the Plasma Field in just 5 seconds. They need to turn around and kill this guy if Doom wants to try and get out. Stun being laid down. Doom's actually going to turn around and fight this
risky.
one.
Oh, goodness.
They get the kill, and Mantis, thanks to the fact that he was so close to the Plasma Field, will not be going down and will survive through that Ice Blast. Ice Blast, oh, just so far up. Mantis going to get clipped, and it's enough. He's going to tick out.
Very, very nice.
That was huge for Ancient Apparition there. He got himself, I think, 2 levels off of that.
Yeah, I really like that. Was actually kind of a neat move in that fight. Solo stole phase shift on his Rubik and used it and delayed them just enough to get the heroes of xGame that much lower, and that was a big part of the reason that Silent was able to come out of that with a double kill, although he did eventually lose his life. You know, xGame's still trading blow for blow here, and I mean, they're they're not snowballing by any means, but they are maintaining their lead here, and Empire are going to start feeling the pressure to make some plays.
Equal has a blink dagger, so
this is really smart.
I always want to fly. He was just getting something thanks to that Ice Blast and a bit of free farming at the top lane. He was like, I'm almost there to a he has to fall back on more standard support
the wanted drum, which I think he probably ought to have gone anyway. I mean, that last fight down there got him all the way up to level 8. We observed a couple minutes ago that he was just miserable at level 4. But yeah, they're still picking on him. Although now that he's level 8, that's going to be a lot less effective. You're going to have to start addressing. I mean, Resolution is not the fastest farm in the world. And there's
get him with the Dagon. There goes Mag. And a quick teleport away by Whatafaka just before the Ice Blast lands as well. So they may not be pushing down towers, but they're keeping up the hero kills left, right, and center.
Yeah, really cool to see in this match. Whatafucker really struggled on his Viper in the last game, and it's really nice to see him coming back with a top-tier performance in this match.
Mantis charging down the bottom lane. Doesn't have his Blade Mail just yet. Looks like he's going for the full Maelstrom into a Blade Mail with a Mjolnir build. And a bit surprised he didn't go for the Blink Dagger just because that initiation on Tinker is so necessary to shut him down. I know they already have the puck, but have more. As you can see, Resolution has really climbed the ranks here in net worth over the last few minutes. He's now sitting at top with 9,000 net worth, a full 1,000 gold ahead of this Midas Wraith King. And he's able to finish up a Dagon of his own now.
And this is my problem. This is why I think he ought to have gone the Blink Blade Mail build in this game. Even, you know, the Midas I have less of a problem with, but Maelstrom at this point in the game for the Wraith King is a farming item on top of that Midas. And you are not going to outfarm a Tinker. And you see,
oh no, Reese,
kill here.
Oh god, Reese, teleport.
He's out.
He was so close to finding Resolution here. He thought he was going to be tricky here and actually be in the trees, but all the Tinker did is just hide right here. If he just stumbled upon him and was able to hex him out, throw it on the wards, that would have been a nice little kill to have, but unfortunately not going to get it. And Mantis backs himself away from the top lane engagement with not too much health, but is going to be having that Blade Mail soon, which, again, will be good for the Tinker, but I feel like Blade Mail is too much of a defensive choice. Yeah. When Blink Dagger.
No, the problem is it's too late. You want that Blade Mail by 15 minutes. And this is the thing. I think it's a big error, okay, on a Wraith King by Manus to try and literally outfarm a Tinker. That's not
Silent. He just popped that reincarnation, and he's going to pay for it. They're going to stack stuns a little bit. They do get off the Doom, and Silent will still be going down. Maybe they can get a deny. No, not even that. Whatafucker finish it off. Quick little Dagon on the side. Resolution be caught by the Hex and the Serpent Wards, and that is 3 quick kills for xGame. So we were very concerned about the way they just weren't shutting down the Tinker, but they just kind of stumbled into a beautiful fight there. Or rather, Empire stumbled into them, rather. Always want to fly, also going to get picked off.
Oh,
and
man.
that
what
now
a fight.
Tier 1 tower.
What a fight as xGame just take control of this match. And I was so concerned about that Tinker a moment ago, coming out with the Dagon Blink Boots of Travel at 18 minutes despite the start. And then xGame just kind of, I like the way you called it initially, just kind of stumble into the fight of their lives. I mean, God, Silent said something about somebody's mother. I mean, they just blew everything to kill him. But at this point in the game, with the Tinker just kind of coming online, yeah, the Razor is your high priority target. You kill him to start a fight, good things are going to happen for you.
Yeah, with the Blink Dagger up on Reeves, while they may not have that initiation from the core Wraith King, they do make up for it to a certain extent with all these support Blink Daggers, both Equal as well as Reeves. Those are both supports that can almost solo shut down Resolution. Vengeful Spirit, not as much, but you could see from Reeves, I mean, that Resolution kill was all him.
Oh, yeah, and just the ability to reposition. With the 2 ultra high value targets on Empire right now, and Tinker's only going to gain in value as the game goes on, the ability to just jump in and reposition somebody by Equal is really huge. And I mean, he's made some big plays on his Enigma in the last match. Looks to be in position to do the same here. And of course, an early blink on Shadow Shaman, you know, in the hands of a good player, that can just be game breaking. Always going to fly. Looks like he's going to go down here, down bottom. Will be denied by Solo. Oh no!
Oh, Solo missing out on that one.
Oops.
Top lane, they, he's got to be careful with that one. You could see Magus actually sitting here in position to be able to babysit Resolution and could be looking for a pickoff. If he finds Whatafucker, which way is this really going to go here? He gets the lasso and Whatafucker misses the silence. That means Equal maybe dying here. Resolution's going to get a little bit low, but unfortunately Whatafucker with missing that silence will not be able to do much else. Now Whatafucker, oh God, another just random happenstance there.
Unbelievable.
Just kind of, I don't know how they're doing it, man, but they're somehow getting these pickoffs that shouldn't happen.
Are we not giving xGame enough to read on these fights is just like yours, that these are kind of random, hey, look what I found. But again, I mean, xGame making the kills happen where they need to on the heroes that they need to.
Yeah, I mean, somehow Mantis just like manna from heaven. He just walks in and it's like, oh, hey, Tinker decided to blink offensively and try and get really greedy with the March of the Machines. I'll just farm you.
Activate
really
my Blade
quickly.
Mail and you're going to die.
Yeah, he's got level 16 now, by the way. So Mjolnir with the Blade Melt as well. They're pretty much hitting their peak point now to push in and force these fights. And
that, I mean, look, that's kind of the thing. You know, it's about risk reward, and I mean, we criticize
equal. What's happening here? I'm not sure which way this is going to go. Equal is going to be popped here as the rest of the team will back themselves up. Again, tumbling into kills. Apparently this happens on both sides, though. The higher priority kills are being found by xGame.
Yeah, that's the big thing, that they're controlling the cores of Empire, which at this point in the game is so
top
critical.
lane. Resolution. Blade Mail. Not able to finish him off just yet, and the blink will finally be able to go off, and Resolution will get himself away. And the lack of mobility kind of hurting Mantis there for now. Wonder if he still goes for a late blink dagger. I mean, honestly, do you consider at this point when you your Blade Mail Mjolnir?
Oh, no, yeah, you absolutely consider that blink dagger. If you can blink on the Tinker in the trees and bash his face in, I mean, how quickly does that item pay for itself?
Yeah. Those sort of scenarios, you kind of wish you did have a blink dagger already.
Now, Doom is going to get big eventually here. If you can lock down Resolution as xGame, you have an excellent chance to win this match, even if it goes late. I mean, this is kind of starting to be, at the beginning of the match, this 25-minute mark is what I thought was going to be the start of Empire's window. And, I mean, they have the tools that they need, but xGame in a very, very good position to win these 5-on-5 engagements. And, I mean, we're reaching the point. Resolution's Tinker is going to do a lot of work. He's building toward his E-Blade here, but eventually we're going to get to a point where Doom and Wraith King, that's going to be one hero too many, especially with the puck progressing nicely as well.
Yeah, and I love the fact that our Razor was a big concern when I saw him with that point booster. Thought he was going to be going for the Aghanim Scepter, but the BKB makes so much more sense here. What the fuck is going to be caught in the middle lane? Excellent pickup, but the swap manages to save him. Equal now going to be in some trouble. We do have still Puck in the middle of the fight. Mag is going to be taken down by Mantis real quickly. Silence forced to back himself away as the wards threaten his life. A 1-for-1 exchange, off-laner exchange for support. Well worth it for xGame as they go right back. Unfortunately, Doom, what was he doing there?
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, what he was doing there is trying to draw him away from the Roche pit, which I think is folly. Oh, my goodness.
What a fucker, just like, what up? Get a double kill, easy peasy. Those supports that I've been hunting all game long, they just wandered into the rat trap there.
Yeah, rat trap, I think, is the right way to put it. And, well, Doom's little bait out of position seems to have worked. Again, kind of stumbling a little bit into kills, but you take it. You take it where you can get it when you're trying to pull an upset like this.
Yep, and that means Dagon 4 has been finished up by What a Fuck. Sometimes you see pucks go for Dagon 1, and they just go for like the later game items like Scythe of Ice, but What a Fuck is fully committing to this burst damage. And with the Aegis he's got now, he can dive in nice and deep and won't have to worry about too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, too. For all we talk about in most of these matches that kills matter a lot less than objectives, you know, this is a match where kills, particularly on that Tinker, are really important. They're high value. They're worth investing resources to get. So, you know, the Dagon 5 build on a puck, not something that I would ordinarily like to see coming out. Just because of how this match is going, I really don't mind it. And What a Fuck is certainly making the plays to justify it.
Mantis decides that he's
got it.
He's going to go his own way here. He's not going to be one of the cool kids. He's got every other member on his team going up for a Blink Dagger. He is deciding that it's not for him, as he's got 3,800 gold in the bank. He's got to be investing into something else. I'm not sure what that is necessarily, because I'm not sure if I value the Basher and the Abyssal Blade here without the Blink Dagger. I mean, he certainly has the attack speed to make it work. I'm just concerned about him kind of like not finding the openings, but I suppose with all of his teams providing the disables, he will still be able to just kind of walk into these team fights and still do a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I think AC is really good here for sure. I can't really fault him. Either way, it works out. I kind of would like to see a Basher, but yeah, you're right. If you're not going to go Blink, that eventual Abyssal Blade loses a lot of its value. xGame rotating here. Looks like they're going to try and find a kill bottom. Silent sniffing it out is going to back in the lane, but really, they want to push these towers now. They have all the tools they need. There's no reason for them to be passive.
Absolutely, and Silent may still be caught here. What a Fucker sees him, and the swap goes out. Silent is going to be forced to use his BKB. Doom is going to be laid down on him. Unfortunately, they just don't have enough right-click damage to be able to catch him out, and that may have been the wrong idea there. The Rubik teleporting in. In fact, Stallcat's going to be pulled back, and Silent will be able to finish off with the help of the Tinker. Mantis still trapped inside of these Serpent Wards, can't really do anything about it. Throws a stun onto Mag, at least his reincarnation is up, so at least he'll be able to zone these heroes, and bye-bye Silent. There goes that big burst of damage with the Dragon. Number 5, Mantis will finally lose his life here, and the tier 2 tower is Tinker actually managed to come in just in time, will be trying to finish off at least the Shadow Shaman, but he's going to lose his life possibly. Ghost Scepter, oh, the last stun comes in. Wow.
He just sits there. Yeah, what a fucker brought his taser today, boys.
He really
what are you going to do about it? And okay, we are going to see the Basher, which, again, I don't think it's a bad choice. I think either AC or Basher into Abyssal is just fine. Wow,
what do you think?
What a fuck was
What if I could go for an Ethereal Blade next?
Why the hell not?
I guess so. I mean, what's the point of turning units into a sheep when you can just blow them up, right? I mean,
okay, now he is. I actually like this quite a bit too. He's going to complete his Boots of Travel, and that's a. You know what, Tinker? You can TP around the map and zap people. Guess what? I can too.
Guess so, man. So we have Mantis who's about to finish up his Abyssal. So with that kind of attack speed, if he ever actually gets onto somebody, they're done for, which is really helpful against certain heroes like the Razor. If he can actually get in range of the Abyssal Blade, they kind of need that extra bit of lockdown because they have no other disables to be able to stop Silent from moving when he pops that BKB. Obviously, last team fight, they threw out the Doom, but they couldn't actually stop him from just running away.
Interestingly, though, and we're seeing all the big items come up. We saw Puck complete the Dagon 5. We're going to see Wraith King probably finish that Abyssal. We saw the Tinker complete his E-Blade. The biggest item in all of that might just have been the Shadow Shaman's Aghanim Scepter, because now Reeves can barrel down these lanes and just do a crap ton of damage to these towers and barracks as the fights are going on.
Mag looking for a pick-off here in the middle lane, but the swap goes down from Equal, and they're going to jump on Empire before they can actually be jumped. There goes our Ruben. The pullback here from Mag, going on to Reeves, but that's certainly not going to be enough damage. Wards were thrown down, maybe not the best situation, but at least he gets off the ability. He's going to be actually held up. He goes back into the fire. Reeves, why did you do this? He's not going to die, just barely 75 health left. Mag will teleport himself away. Seriously, though, what was Reeves doing? He literally kept himself in Cold Feet range while also going back into the fire as Cold Feet procs the stun. Like,
you know what, though? It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. Empire is so used to, especially with Mag on the Batrider, they're used to being the ones that are starting these fights. And I really think the aggression of xGame just forcing so many fights with this Dagon build on Whatafuck has taken them a little bit by surprise in this match. He's just playing with no fear. Look at this.
Yeah, Whatafucker just walks up there and he's like, "Are you squishy enough for me to kill?" Nah, no.
That's okay.
You're not one of those supports. I've got phase shift. There's really not much for me to be scared of at this point, so Abyssal Blade now finished up, and the trap is set. Mantis hiding himself near the secret shop, waiting for one of these units to rotate in. He does have that bit of vision here, which may have been what kind of gave him that heads up. Whatafuck is going to be caught by the last zone. There goes that Aegis. But the rest of the team is coming in from the side. Always want to fly. Going to be blown up by Mantis. Now pops the Blade Mail. Gets a proc on a Silent as well. Gets a stun on him. The Dream Coil on one. They actually blow up the support Vengeful Spirit, but already in return, Whatafucker takes out Silent. Solo goes down to Mantis, and now it's just cleanup time. Reeves trying to catch up to the Batrider, unable to get that disable. So the Bat as well as Resolution's Tinker will both be able to get themselves out of this fight, or will they? Whatafucker, what a man. Just diving into almost tier 4s here. A little bit of burst damage from Resolution, not quite enough though.
Just unbelievable. Absolutely no fear shown. And this is the thing. We questioned this farm-heavy build by Mantis' Wraith King, but when you got a player like Whatafucker in this match creating this much space for you to farm, hey, I mean, that build has paid for itself. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Mantis doesn't get off his Blade Mail in time to reflect some of that damage back to Resolution. Fortunately, Resolution does not have enough mana to do that again, though. And Mantis will just teleport himself away. And
that's why the early level 16 is just so huge, right? I mean, the Midas, we wondered about it, but when you can get that reincarnation down to a 60-second cooldown at, 25 minutes into a game, that's when Wraith King really does become a true carry.
Damn. Puck, he went full Dagon 5, but he's not going full Dagon 5.
Oh,
he's going back for the side device.
Well, all right. You know what? It's a smart build for sure. I mean, you're getting to the point very rapidly here where, I mean, it's fun to blow up supports, but you are eventually going to have a plan. Oh, gosh.
How many descriptive words can we come up for what's happening to some of these Empire heroes? Pulverized is one that keeps coming to mind for me.
Is there something beyond going ham? Like, can we say he's going bacon? I don't know, but this is pretty awesome. I questioned a lot of these item builds, but it's made for some damn entertaining Dota, and xGame is very firmly on the front foot here.
Yeah, I don't think there's really, I mean, there's always a shot, right? There's always a shot with the Tinker. But if he just plays this slightly wrong, gets caught out by one of the myriad of disables here, the Blink Dagger Vengeful Spirit Swap, the Blink Dagger Hex from Reeves, the soon-to-be Scythe Device for the Puck as well. There's so many opportunities for them to catch up this Tinker.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so funny to me in this match. I mean, Tinker's getting out-tinkered, right? I mean, okay, really great. I've got rearm. I can do that Dagon E-Blade combo and do a bunch of damage. Good luck getting through one rearm when you're going to get zapped by this puck. I mean, it's funny, but if you can burst Tinker down right away, the fact that he's got all those rearms and a big mana pool doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, and getting the Ethereal Blade just leaves him more exposed to some extent to what a fuck. He's going to need a BKB here. He's going to. I don't know if he goes like fully into the Dagon first just because, well,
I don't
Mag's
think
going to be caught out.
Again, too.
Stun and blown up.
It has been a long time since I have seen Mag go 1-7 on a Batrider, and I think it's more xGame's playing well and them being the ones to start the fight than it is Mag playing that badly. I mean, it's funny with this kind of a lineup, especially with Empire, you just assume that they're going to be the ones on the offensive throughout the game, and almost never been true in the
by Wadafaka. And 3 heroes are going to push in the top lane, and Serpent Wards will be laid down, so commit to a fight here. It depends on whether or not Empire rotate their full 5-man. It looks like the tower's actually going to go down before anything happens. But I think if there was like a 5-man there from Empire ready to go, they would just leave the wards down because they are taking Roshan at the same time. So another Aegis here for Wadafaka, and growing that gold lead even further, over a 25,000 gold lead for xGame and a 25,000 experience lead as well.
Yeah, and I think it's really down to one last gasp here by Empire. Yeah, I don't know that xGame have a whole lot to wait on, although that said, we're probably going to see a heart here coming out from Mantis's Wraith King. I mean, yeah, that's just good luck.
Chat seems to like your idea of going bacon.
Going
bacon, Craig has
like, there's got to be something beyond going ham.
Oh,
besides, I'm in Canada, right? I mean, the one great thing about culinary schools of thought in Canada, man, they put bacon on everything. It's wonderful. Bacon and maple syrup, hell yeah.
That sounds better than Germany, man. Put mayonnaise on everything. It's going mayonnaise. That is.
No,
that's going 0 and that's going 0 and 30.
All right, I think we might have two things.
We have a silent on silent, and he's going to be bought by Dagon. What if phase shift a little bit of that extra Eye of the Storm damage? I keep wanting to say, like, with that pickoff, xGame sure to push uphill, but like, really, you expect this lineup to probably try and go uphill? Like, if you just look at the lineup from the draft themselves, you would say, okay, once they have an advantage like this, you would push uphill. But xGame are just like, they're holding on to the map controls so well, and they're picking off so many of these heroes. Like, this gold lead is still dropping down at the same rate it has been dropping for the last 12 minutes now. It's over a 30,000 gold lead now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, that at this point, barring a major fight win for Empire, they're contained.
Reeves to be dying here to the Tinker. Mantis, well, he's so damn tanky. What do they do to him? I mean, they have to play around him. They have to just kite this guy for so long, and that's when Fuddlefucka, he finds his opening. Takes down the Batrider real quickly. Mantis going to be stunned up once again. Oh, no, barely gets out. And Solo, oh dear, runs right into the puck here. Gets off the stun. And not going to be quite enough damage. The double phase shifts, and Solo will still be dying.
Oh my goodness.
Yod got that. The Doom, I'm just now noticing the Doom is 2, 3, and 6. He's been part of 8 kills. Meanwhile, Whatafaka has got 19 kills on his puck and another 9 assists.
Yeah, 20 out of 30. That ain't bad, my friends. But I mean, that's the thing. The Doom is still well positioned to contribute in the late game with finishing up his Shivas pretty soon here.
It's Wraith King, man. They're going like full 6-slotted everybody, or at least the Wraith King before they go in. The heart has been finished by the Wraith King. When do you even go from here? Like, you get rid of your Midas.
Oh, there you go, Resolution.
All right. Well.
Getting a little bit back, but he's got to be careful. Yeah, Reeves could have gone for the blind blink there, but that's kind of the thing.
Refresher on shot.
Right.
Holy cow.
That's kind of the thing. I mean, at this point, they have a big enough lead that if they pressure orb on the Rasta and just go drop double wards on their buildings, and there's just really not much that Empire can do about it. I mean, Silent and Resolution fighting valiantly here, going to try and take a tier 1 tower, but yeah, it's a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, now they just lost a tier 1 tower in the top lane. Silent with his Eye of the Storm is very, very short work of these towers if they find these kind of openings. So I think it's getting about your time. I mean, you would love to wait for the refresher maybe, but it's not that there's too much. It'd be a disaster if they don't push in the next 5 minutes, but just start considering it somewhere in the back of your mind. Maybe it's time to end this game.
No, I mean, but the thing, there is as far away as that light at the end of the tunnel is, there is a path back for Empire in this game. They're not, I mean, they're not out of it, and that path involves them turtling for another 20 minutes. And as xGame, okay, 20 minutes is a long time. You have plenty of leeway. You can lose 1 and probably 2 major fights, but why even bring that possibility into play?
Silent is looking for a pickoff here in the top lane, especially with general. Tinker in the late game is so powerful because he's able to pop these heroes really easily. And the problem with that is he has so quick recovery that he turns 1 pickoff into 2 pickoffs. Like, while you're waiting for that 1 hero to go down, another hero gets picked off again, and you're just constantly sitting there at only 4 heroes or 3 heroes up on your roster and just unable to go for that final 5-ban. And when you do, well, you're dealing with March of the Machines.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that you got to remember. As stacked as Manus is in this game, he's still a melee carry. He can still get kited around and just zapped by the Tinker.
So Blade will even do. Well, it actually still does quite a significant amount to Resolution. Just looking at going this late game Blade Mail, man. Equal is going to be pulled up into the cliff here. Doom has already been laid down on Resolution. That's not a good sign. Spellcat's just going to run after him, beat its face in with Dagon helping out. That's sure to be enough damage. Meanwhile, Mantis will just lock down Silent with his bashes, as even with a lack of damage here, it still doesn't matter. Silent's going to be slowed up a little bit. Mantis trying to catch up. Will lose his first life. Silent, though, is going to be in some trouble in the second line. Maybe not. Mantis just going to back himself up. Doesn't want to be giving up a killing spree. He's going to be kited around quite heavily by this sticky napalm. And he's actually going to be stopped his teleport. They may actually be able to get this kill. Resolution unable to finish off the Doom. Maybe can go for Mantis instead. I think Mantis is actually dead. Oh, God, the Blade Mail. He turned it around. Resolution may actually die here. One hit, and he got him.
Oh, my God.
The timing on the Blade Mail there. You've got to be careful, Tinker, when he's going up against that. And he's down for 100 seconds now. Sad part being Tinker had a free kill there. Threw the whole combo into a Blade Mail.
Yeah, and he used his buyback. So that's kind of that's the big thing. When Tinker respawns, he's still going to have a couple minutes left before that next buyback, and that becomes a events. That's a huge team fight win for Empire. Just getting a little bit too greedy, diving in a little bit too far by xGame. You do need to hit buildings eventually, guys, to win the game. But the momentum might have gotten out of that fight, arrested there at the very end by a nice play by Mantis to take Resolution down with him.
Like, he literally had one play, which was getting the Blade Mail off at the right time. If he just got Ethereal Blade and continually slowed by Ethereal Blades, he's not doing anything there, right? It's just like he'll turn around, but he won't have enough to be able to stop him fully. But he just had the one shot, which is Blade Mailing a full thing there and getting off that 1 extra auto attack. And even that was close. Like, Tinker was almost able to Ethereal Blade himself again.
Right, right, and the damage drain was going on him by the Razor. It's just that he has too much damage to really drain out in a short period of time. Mag looked to be in a little bit of trouble here, but he knows what's coming.
Yeah, Reeves equal, both blinking themselves forward. Reeves will trap himself in the trees, and equal unable to find that opening. So one step ahead of all these mass blink daggers. The 20K club. It's the 20K club. I'm just now noticing this. We have a Wraith King. I don't think I've ever seen a Wraith King this farm before. At 27,000 net worth, 20,000 on the Puck, 20,000 on the Tinker, 20,000 on the Doom, and soon to be 20,000 on the Razor. So 2 out of the 5 from Empire are hitting that 20,000 mark. 3 out of 5 for xGame in the club.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen and no, in fact, we've only net worth higher than this at the 45-minute mark as Ben has. Oh, goodness.
Stellcat maybe to Doom up. Stellcat run. Double ways. Mantis comes in. Big old threatening Wraith King is going to lock down Mag. And, well, he doesn't even need the Abyssal Prime. There's a gem on the ground as well. Mantis may not have. Doesn't look like anybody else from xGame. I'm just realizing you have 10 times the net worth from the Ancient Apparition to the Wraith King. 10 times. Silent. Popping his refresher is going to be doing a double Eye of the Storm here. Mantis reflecting a lot of his damage back. The BKB don't care. And Mantis will lose life number 1. Now the rest of his team is going to come in and help him for life number 2. We have the Ethereal Blade already going out. Whatafaka going to try and blow up solo. And a jump in from the Shiva's Doom as well. Oh, there goes that tag and finishes up Silent. Who cares about resolution if they can just eliminate the rest of the supporting cast here on the side. And whoa, there goes Cellcat. Resolution comes back with a vengeance, able to take that one here. Now going for the puck as well. He's got to be careful with this position he's in. He does get the puck, will lose his life though, as he takes out from the Wraithfire Blast. And the buyback by Whatafaka with the orb going down. And everybody dead by the side of Empire. Here comes the mass buyback. And finally, xGame will end this game with double the kills and a huge net worth lead, almost approaching the 35,000 net worth mark. But man,
well done. I mean, they had a lead from start to finish and just never. Empire made it a little bit interesting there at the end, but they never really let that game go. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, that early farm